Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review. I'm super excited to premiere another brand new build on my channel, and that would be the FanHome Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise D build. Now, after waiting 2 years, it's finally here, and I'm going to build it for you on my channel. So I'm super excited about that. Head over to FanHome and subscribe to this build today, and you can follow along with me. It's fantastic. It is the largest Starship Enterprise available commercially to any of us to build. Plus, it's die cast, and it's very cool. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get started. The Star Trek The Next Generation build, the U.S.S Enterprise NCC-1701-D. Fantastic. It's finally back from FanHome. FanHome acquired these kits for all of us to begin building. And to be honest, I wanted to start building this about a couple years ago, but that never happened. So now here's my opportunity. I get to build this for you on my channel. This first video will be pack 1, and in pack 1 are 2 stages, stage number 1 and stage number 2. This kit is 28 inches or 70 centimeters long. It represents the Galaxy class starship from the Next Generation. The saucer and star drive sections separate, and it's packed with working lights. The exterior includes phaser strips, transporter emitters, antimatter loading hatches, and the captain's yacht. Also, illuminated windows. It's pre-painted. It was remastered from the high-definition version of the Next Generation. Illuminated deflector, light-up engines, metal hull, navigation lights, warp nacelles that have their own power supply, a display mount, independent lights for controls of the saucer and the star drive, and also, of course, the magazine itself, the collector's guide, detailed instructions, behind the scenes, and episode guides. Look at the magazine here real quick. Open this up, and if you haven't done so already, head over to FanHome and start your subscription today. Or if you are currently building it, you probably already know this, but you can continue your build through FanHome and complete your starship. So this is fantastic here. In this issue, they give us the first 2 stages, plus some articles, designing the D, building the bridge, and Lost Generation, which are your episode guides. So stage 1 parts and stage 2 parts, or you can see there's a lot of parts involved with each of these stages. And then the assembly guide for stage 1, which we start working on the main command bridge on top of deck 2. And then on stage 2, we start assembling the port warp nacelle, which would be the left side. And then, like we were saying, designing the D. Fantastic there. I love the articles here, the drawings, concept drawings for the Enterprise D. Fantastic there. Andy Probert. Here's a fantastic article about Andy Probert, who served in the United States Navy. Then the next article, designing the bridges. Once again, fantastic here. I love it. Lots of information here. And again, wow. This is better than any book you can purchase. Fantastic. And episode guide, The Lost Generation. Fantastic there too. And there you go. So I am a big fan of the next generation. I've always been a fan of Star Trek since I was a wee one. And, I always used to dress up, for me, because I was taller than all my friends, I used to dress up like Spock. So I wish I could find the photograph. There's a photograph of me dressed up like Spock with the ears and all that. So that was my thing I did when I was a kid. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and look at the contents for Pack 1, which is Stage 1 and Stage 2. Here's Stage 1 contents, which is the main bridge. A lot of parts involved there too. That's fantastic. And here's Stage 2, which is the port warp nacelle. All the parts for that. So without further ado, let's get started on Stage 1. Let's look at the build instructions for Stage 1. And here's all the parts for Stage 1, which is the upper main bridge module. And you should be able to see everything here clearly as I'm filming this in 4K. And here's the assembly guide. This is the beginnings of the lighting system itself. So everything either snaps together or is screwed together. And we work on these steps here. And you got E on the left and step F on the right. And step G right there. And H. Let's get a closer look at the parts. Here's a close-up of those parts contained within this blister pack. And there's going to be a lot of parts that we're not actually going to build in this stage. So you'll want to have a spot where you want to keep these safe. FanHome does provide a very large box when they ship this out to you, so that's where all my spare parts are going to go into until I receive the next pack. You can see there, just nothing big to see there. So let me take these out, we'll get a closer look. Here's a close-up of the main bridge, and this is very impressive. It is made of metal, and you can see just the subtle panels that are put into this, that are painted in. That's fantastic and very impressive. See the colors that are involved here too. And the windows are already opened up for us. And you can see the bottom side here. And you can see everything's been painted. So I'm not sure how the light blocking will work on this, but I may add extra light blocking as necessary. But that's fantastic there. I want to try to keep this build as box stock as possible, but if I do any modifying, it's because I want to do a little more light blocking. And those are great there. The detail on those. Wow. That's made of plastic, of course. Again, plastic here. And plastic there also. Fantastic. I love that. And this too. Plastic. And they did provide us with a screwdriver, and this has a very small tip, so this would be comparable to a 00 Weir screwdriver. I will be using my Weir screwdriver for this build because it just fits my hand a lot better than this one does here, but this is a great little screwdriver. And we have all the clear parts here for the windows, the blacked out windows and the open windows. This is also clear, but it has a silver backing. Also clear part 2 with the silver backing. Same thing here. This is clear. And these are already black plastic for the other two, the other three, that is. We have a hatch here made of plastic. Wiring. And the LED lights, very nice there. AP, CM, and CP screws. First thing we do is we install this hatch on this panel here, and we're going to put in 2 AP screws. So remember, with the screws you got AP and CM. P as in plastic and M as in metal. Whenever you're putting screws into metal, I would recommend you use some kind of lubricant, either 3-in-1 oil. I like to use Vaseline. It's just easier for me that way. So this goes AP, 2 of them, and the last one. There you go. That's what that looks there. It's great. So we're going to put our LEDs into this. We want your wire bundle number C for that. We'll turn this over, and on the front area where this mounts to, we're going to have your yellow and white wire LED, and then on the back will be the red and black. So we'll put that in first. We'll put this clear window part in here, press it in. Hold that LED in place. There we go. And we'll do the same thing on the back side here. The retainer cover on top of that, so of course we need to run our wire through it. Make sure your LEDs are seated in correctly. There we go. Everything is seated fine there. You can see how that looks. 2 AP screws go into this. And the last one. Perfect. That's how that looks there. That looks great. Next we'll go ahead and assemble the main bridge deck, and that's fantastic there. So as you are looking at it in this direction, this would be the left side and this would be the right side. So to keep me straight, put an L and an R here. Now I'll begin with step E, and they want us to install these vent grills that go on the top here. This would be considered the left hand side and the right hand side. And you can see I marked it R and L. Now only one side is lit up for this model. Now I am told on the real studio model that these aren't lit up at all. They're just colored. But I'm going to go ahead and light them up as per the kit. I want to build this as close as I can to what you get in the kit so you know what you're in for. So these lens cover here is marked with an L, and we're going to lay that down right there. And it has a cover that goes on the top of that. But first we need to install the LED. The LED wire we're using is from wire bundle number B, and we're going to put in the yellow black wire, and that's going to go right. I'm going to put it right between that tab. You can kind of see there's a tab there, and that's going to go right there, kind of separating the positive and negative for the LED. We'll go ahead and put the cover on. And put a CM screw into this right there. And that's good there. That's what that looks there. Go to the other side. And we're going to put the black vent in, marked with an R. and the cover for it. No LED is going to be going into this. And another CM screw. And that's tight there. Flip this over, and that's how they both look. Clear lens there, and blocked off lens there for the vent. Now let's concentrate on the front end here. And we're going to put in this clear piece up front. It's going to go inside the windows, just like that. And going to take our next wire bundle, bundle A, and we're going to route our wires. And red black goes on the right side here, marked with an R. And your yellow and green go on the other side. Going to put our cover down. And this will lock down both of those LEDs on either side. 4 CM screws go into this. And the last one. That's tight. And that's how that looks there. Next, I'll go ahead and put in the upper deck sensor platform, and that's simply just going to slot down one way on there. We're going to put 4 screws into this on the back side, and they are AP screws. First one, and the last one. Make sure you don't over tighten them so they don't strip out. Just snug. That's good. And that's what that looks like there. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the bridge on. Just like that. And we're going to secure that down with 3 CP screws. And the first one. And the last one. And that's good. Once again, you don't want to over tighten those. That's what that looks like from underneath and from above. And we need to install our escape hatch covers, 6 of them here. 01L goes in first. You want to have all the left ones on this side and all the right ones on that side. That one goes there. That one goes there. And lastly, that goes there. That's how that looks. Now the other side. That goes there. That goes there. And the last one goes there. And if they're a little loose, you can go ahead and super glue them. Some of them went in tight and some went in loose. And that's how they look. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed building stage 1 for the Enterprise D. We did a lot here with the bridge, and I must say it looks very nice. Windows and the color and such, the escape pods and all that, and the LED lighting. Can't wait to give it a test out. Now I do know some folks are adding an LED to the top of the bridge there, and that's what the real thing would look like. This kit did not come with that, but obviously you can mod yours to do that if you wanted. I'm going to keep mine as factory as possible, as from what you get from FanHome. So remember to head over to FanHome and subscribe to this Enterprise D. Like I said, it has returned and it's fantastic. Don't be left without it. Let's head over and do stage 2. I'll be right back. And welcome back to stage 2 of the build of U.S.S Enterprise NCC-1701-D. So for the assembly for stage 2, we're going to continue with this build, and we're going to assemble the port warp nacelle, complete with buzzard collector and formation light. Here's our steps involved here. And the next part of it. There you go there. Let me get the parts and I'll be right back. And here's the parts for stage 2. Very cool. I'll go ahead and take these out and we'll get a closer look. And here they are. This is the port warp nacelle, or the left warp nacelle. And you can see, wonderfully painted there. The graphics looks great on this. This is made of metal. The other part of this is made of metal also. Here's the internal skeletal work of it. That looks really good there. And some of the grills that are already clear blue. 2 of them. Chiller grill, which is kind of an orangey gold color. The front of the warp nacelle, clear red. One of the navigation lights, and a clear portion of the nacelle. AM, AP, and BM screws. Let's get started. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start assembling this. First thing I'm going to do is going to turn this over, and we're going to take this chiller grill here, and notice here's some indentations here. Those are going to go forward, and this is just going to slide down right on top of that, just like that. Next, they want us to put the navigation light in on the back side here. And it does have a flat area. You can just kind of see how it's flat there, so it only goes in one way, just like that. Next, we take this clear part, and it's going to go in on top of the chiller grill, just like that. Same thing, it has those indentations on the front, and that will get locked in the next step. Next step, I'm going to install this frame assembly, and it's simply just going to go down on top here and hold everything in place. We're going to line it up to where all the holes are, the mounting holes, just like that. And AM screws are going to lock this down in several places here. First one's going to be up front here. There's one. And the last one. And I put in 9 AP screws. That's how that looks. Next, we put in the front piece of our warp nacelle, and like I was saying, this is made of metal, and it's simply just going to go down on the front of it here, just like that. And we're going to put in 3 BM screws in the first one and the last one. That's good there. That's how that looks. Next, I'm going to put in these engine chiller grills, and they're simply going to go in on top of the mounting holes. They only go in one way. AP screws go into this. The first one and the next one. That's how that looks there. I'll go ahead and do the other side and I'll be right back. And the other side is in. Looks fantastic. Another thing I want to point out is make sure you take and get a close-up view of all your screws and make sure they are inserted all the way, they are screwed down all the way. Now I'm going to install the rear grill, and that simply just goes down on top here. Very tight fit. 2 AP screws go into that. And there you go. That's how that looks there. And that completes stage 2. I had a blast building this warp nacelle, the left one or the port one. Looks great. I love the nav light here on the end and the colors of the chiller grills. Very nice. And it looks like the front piece will just go in on the end there and give us that kind of a look later on. We don't install it just yet, but that's what that will look like. Fantastic. Now remember, the Enterprise D is back. This time it's from FanHome. They picked up where the other company left off, and I'm super excited because I really wanted to build this. As a matter of fact, I had it ordered before, and then you know what happened there. So I'm glad I have this. So head over to FanHome and subscribe to this Enterprise D. It's the biggest one out there. You won't regret it. And I'm looking forward to building this for you on my channel. I'll put a link down below on how you can subscribe to this build. So if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Smash the like button. It helps with the algorithms and get me out there. Give me all the support you can during this build. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions, put them in the comments below. I haven't actually watched everybody else's videos on this build, so I'm going to be learning as I go. With that, happy modeling everybody, and take care.